Breaking news. America, this is huge. A brand new proposal from Donald Trump could send $2,000 stimulus checks directly into the pockets of millions of Americans. Not loans, not assistance programs, not monthly deductions, but a direct tariff dividend payment, fully funded by tariffs collected from foreign imports. And here's the twist. This isn't just another stimulus check. This could become a permanent recurring benefit based on tariff income. Today's video is going to break down who qualifies, how the system works, when payments could start, why seniors on SSI and SSDI may be first in line, and how this could transform the U.S. economy. Stay with me, because the eligibility details you'll hear at the end, nobody is talking about them. What exactly is the $2,000 tariff dividend stimulus, and why is everyone talking about it? To understand this, we need to break down what makes it different from every stimulus we've seen before. This is not a regular government-issued payment like the COVID era checks. It does not come from printing new money, it does not increase inflation, and it does not add even a single dollar to the national debt. Instead, the tariff dividend is based on a simple idea. Use money that foreign companies are already paying to the U.S. government and redirect it directly into the pockets of American families. When a foreign company ships products into the United States, whether it's electronics, clothes, steel, machinery, or household items, they must pay a tariff, which is a tax collected at the border. These payments generate tens of billions of dollars every year, and Trump's proposal says that money should go straight back to Americans instead of being absorbed into federal budgets. But here's the part that shocks most people. Tariffs are collected constantly, quietly, and automatically every single day. Every time a container ship unloads in a U.S. port, every time a shipment is scanned at customs, every time a foreign brand sells goods inside the country, tariff money flows into the U.S. Treasury. Trump's plan argues that Americans are the ones ultimately supporting the economy, so they should receive the benefit of this revenue stream. In other words, if foreign companies want access to the American market, they pay the tariff, and that tariff becomes the funding source for the proposed $2,000 tariff dividend stimulus. Here's the core idea behind the policy. Tariff money in, $2,000 checks out. This concept flips the traditional stimulus model upside down. Instead of borrowing money or raising taxes, Trump suggests using existing tariff revenue to create a new financial benefit for American households. Under this framework, the proceeds collected from foreign companies importing goods would be redistributed directly as a financial dividend to qualified Americans, similar to how Alaska gives a yearly payout from its oil revenue. But instead of oil, this national dividend would be funded through tariff payments made by overseas manufacturers. And the more foreign companies import into the USA, the more tariff revenue is generated, meaning more funds available for potential payouts. The most important detail is this. These checks would be funded by foreign companies, not U.S. taxpayers. That's the political and economic advantage Trump is emphasizing. Americans wouldn't be taxed, the government wouldn't borrow money, and inflation wouldn't spike from new monetary printing. Instead, the stimulus would act like a refund of money already collected at the border. Trump's message is straightforward. If foreign companies want to access the American consumer market, they help pay for American families. For millions struggling with rising prices, rent, groceries, and utilities, this tariff dividend could become a new source of relief without the financial downsides of traditional stimulus programs. Why is the government considering this now? To understand this, we need to look at the reality Americans are living in right now, not the polished speeches coming from Washington. Across the country, families are feeling pressure from every direction. Prices have exploded, making everyday essentials harder to afford. Food costs more than ever, forcing people to cut back on groceries or switch to cheaper, less healthy options. Rents are hitting record highs, pushing many households to the edge of eviction or forcing them to downsize. Even utility bills, electricity, gas, water, are suffocating families, rising month after month with no sign of slowing down. This crisis hits the most vulnerable Americans the hardest. Seniors living on a fixed income can't stretch their monthly checks anymore, watching their purchasing power shrink. SSI and SSDI beneficiaries are losing buying power every single month as inflation eats away at their benefits. Veterans on VA disability are falling behind, struggling to keep up with rising costs despite serving their country. And low-income workers can't keep up with inflation, no matter how many extra shifts they take. The gap between income and expenses keeps widening, leaving millions stressed, exhausted, and financially unstable. That's exactly why the tariff dividend stimulus is gaining so much momentum and attention. Supporters argue that this strategy is designed to fight inflation directly, without placing more burden on taxpayers or reducing essential programs. Unlike traditional stimulus plans that rely on borrowing or new taxes, this initiative aims to generate revenue through targeted tariffs, and then return that money to American households in the form of direct payments, including the proposed $2,000 checks. For millions of struggling Americans, this plan represents a new way forward. It offers inflation relief without raising taxes, and it avoids touching critical programs like Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits. In other words, the tariff dividend stimulus is being promoted as a strategy that helps working families, seniors, and disabled Americans recover some of the buying power they've lost, while keeping their existing benefits safe. This is why people across the country are now asking the same question. Do I qualify, and when could these payments arrive? Why the amount is $2,000? Why $2,000? Why not $500 or $3,000? Economists explain three reasons. One, $2,000 is psychologically impactful. People react stronger to four-digit stimulus numbers. Two, it matches previous COVID stimulus amounts. Consistency builds trust. $1,200, $600, $1,400. Now potentially $2,000. Three, tariff revenue is high enough. The U.S. collects tens of billions in tariff revenue annually, enough to fund recurring payouts if structured correctly. Who qualifies? Now the most important part, do you qualify? This section is long, detailed, and fully explained exactly like viral channels do. Group 1, SSI and SSDI beneficiaries. This group has the highest likelihood of being approved first. Why? Fixed income. Highest inflation impact. Historically prioritized in stimulus payout. Automatically enrolled in IRS payment systems. These include supplemental security income, SSI, Social Security, disability insurance, SSDI, disabled adults and children, seniors with limited earnings, blind and disabled individuals. They would receive automatic payment, no paperwork, direct deposit to the same account where they get monthly benefits. Group 2, Social Security retirees 62 plus and 65 plus are heavily impacted by rising costs. This group includes low-income retirees, widows, spouses receiving benefits, early retirees, full retirement age earners. Group 3, low-income Americans under standard stimulus rules, individuals under $75,000, couples under $150,000, head of household under $112,500, full $2,000 applies. Above this, phased reductions. Group 4, veterans includes VA disability survivor benefits low-income veterans, veterans unable to work. In previous stimulus rounds, veterans receive priority payments, sometimes faster than everyone else.